Hi, this is Mr. Novak. So you've watched the two videos on the theory behind the length and the midpoint of a line segment. So now I'm just going to go through the PowerPoint that you can see here, with noting some of the key features. Of course, you can use the PowerPoint to write your notes, and I've got a couple of simple work examples. So going to the PowerPoint, let's load it up. And let's play it. So if you play it, it will step you through the parts. So looking at the vocabulary and notation, so you'll see some questions where they'll use specific labeling. So points are labeled using the capital letters of the alphabet with their corresponding coordinates. Now, it's very common for you students. I find a lot of students forget to put the brackets, okay? So remember, those coordinates need to be inside a set of brackets so they clearly identifies them as a point and the appropriate letter used. When it comes to lines, remember lines, there are three types of definitions. There's a line that continues in both directions. We have the ray, which only goes in one direction, so B to C or C to B. And of course, the one that we're interested in, the long segment, which has a fixed length. All of these are identified by two labeled points. Of course, we need line segment for calculating the length. So, and if you should ever see other problems, you may be familiar with representation of angles. So I might as well talk about that. For instance, angle CAB, which is actually the angle A. Sometimes we just use the vertex, the point where the two lines meet of that angle. And finally, all shapes are identified by vertices. That's the end where two point lines join. So, for instance, a triangle would be ABC. So this is some notation geometry. Let's get to the first part of our investigation today, and that was the midpoint of line segment. So here we have 2 points defining the line segment. So remember, the theory behind it all is that we need a set of x and y coordinates of 2 points. Now you can see the x and y, 1, 3, and minus 5, 7. We can then notice that it's usually referred to as points x1, y1, and point 2 as x2, y2. Uh, the simplest way of working at the midpoint is just simply the average of the x and y coordinates. Too easy. Though, when written down, it looks rather complicated, but it's not really. And it's also written in different formats. So this would be written as the midpoint of AB, so line segment AB, is the average of the x values and the average of the y values. So let's have a look at a simple problem. Find the midpoint of the line segment defined by the endpoints C and D. So using that we have, oops, I should have written CD, not AB. So make sure when you write the formula, you adapt it to the problem. So substituting the values in, be careful of directed numbers, okay, so that is -4, and we're averaging the two, and we get the coordinates -2, 5. And don't forget, you need to be in brackets. The other thing we were investigating was the length of the line segment, and in the video it showed you that we in actual fact are working with Pythagoras' theorem or the hypotenuse. So in a nutshell, again, we are defined by the two coordinates. Using Pythagoras' theorem, we have this simple formula. Basically, what this is the distance of the line segment AB is the difference in the x value and the difference in the y. And don't forget to square it. A lot of students fail to do that. So don't be one of those. And as I say, if you are in a tech able, you will have your calculator, you'll be able to express your answers in decimal form. However, don't be surprised if you get one of these in the tech free, because have taught you how to leave it in third form, making sure it's as simple. So let's have a look at a quick example. Find the length of the side. So here we are identifying CB, we're the vertices of a triangle. So there's the 3 points that define the triangle, and we want between B and C. So using the Pythagoras' theorem, substituting, make sure that we have the x values, that's the -5 and the 10 in this section here, and the y values are 7 and 2. Don't use the 3 or the 1, 7 and 2. And remember, it's the difference of. So we get 15 squared plus, remember, directed numbers, -5. And that is very important because a negative all squared, -5 all squared, I should say, is in actual fact positive 25. And so we have the sum of the thirds, which is in Tech 3, you'd leave it as 250. However, you must remember, is there a square factor? And there is 25. So the simplest form is 5 root 10. And because we work in coordinate geometry, we'll leave that as in units. Of course, in Tech Able, you would have valued that as 15.8 units. And so now go to the PDF file, download the worksheet, which is this one here, nice and simple. Do all the questions and you have the answers on the second sheet. Thank you.